Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Monday and it's movie time.
Yep, we see you in the comment sections already asking about the movie. Interested about the movie.
And
it's a good movie.
This is pretty decent.
Very good, yeah.
If you haven't been around, I see somebody, a new name in there. Rivera Jasmina says hi from California. Hi from
What's up, man?
Florida, where it's actually kind of cold.
Yeah.
Actually, it was so cold over the weekend, Saturday night, that our pipes froze.
Yep, pipes froze.
And we didn't have any water when we woke up on Sunday.
Only for a few minutes, though.
Well, I mean, it was out for a couple hours until it thawed out. You know what I mean? But it went down into the 20s Saturday night, Fahrenheit.
Yeah, but we've been doing Robert E. Howard.
Yeah, we did the show recently about Robert E. Howard, which a lot of people seem to like, and we had a good time doing that.
Dude who wrote Conan, amongst other things.
Yeah.
He wrote this, too.
Very famous pulp writer. And while we were researching the Robert E. Howard show, I discovered that there had been a movie made about one of his other characters, his less iconic characters, I guess, Solomon Kane. And I was like, man, I never heard of that. And so I was kind of interested to watch it. And then, last night I was looking for a movie, and I noticed that Amazon Prime has it for free. So I was like, well, hell, let's go ahead and watch it.
Yeah, if you don't know who Solomon Kane is, he's a mercenary in the 1600s who kind of changes his ways and tries to get redemption for his sins. All right, he becomes kind of a Puritan, but he tests his values against the world. And this whole thing about not killing people, nah. He finds out real quick that no, there's evil and you got to destroy it. Okay. I'm not going to spoil too much about the movie. And he realized that God had put him on the earth to kill bad guys. And this includes, sorcerers, witches. This is happening in the 1600s.
Yeah. I think it's set in 1600.
Yeah. Late 1500s, 1600. I thought it says some of the stories are late 1500s.
Well, the thing about this particular movie is that, because I was curious, I was like, well, is this movie actually based directly on any of the stories? It is not. It's actually what they were planning to do when they first got the rights back in the 90s, this was going to be like a standalone story, but that was like an origin story. And then they were going to make more movies with the character based on some of Robert E. Howard's stories. Okay. This is still the same character.
Yeah.
But
the story isn't quite the same.
It's not directly based on any of his stories, because they were going to do that, but sadly the movie didn't do well enough to justify having any more movies. So this is the only one that they made.
Well, I've been listening to Howard's Conan stories. People are doing recitations of them on YouTube. They're about an hour long. They're good, and the story here is. It's structured very much like something Howard would write. So I've never listened to any or read any Solomon Kane, but it seems to be true to the character as the character was described to me. But like Jen says, it's not really.
Well, they're trying to build up how he got to where he got to the spot where he was in the stories.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like his backstory.
It's a backstory. He didn't have an origin story.
Right. So I guess they were gonna and then they were gonna directly adapt some of the stories, but like I said, they never got around to it.
He doesn't have any superpowers. He's like Conan, no superpowers, just really good swordsman. He's kind of religious. He's into self-sacrifice. He's got all kinds of tattoos and scars all over him, and crosses and incantations to protect him from evil. He knows about demonology and fighting witches. And he's a master swordsman. And he's good with guns, too. He's carrying wheel locks. He kind of dresses a little bit like V from Vendetta or Zorro kind of thing, black cape, black leather hat and all that. Kind of like a pilgrim, as you would know it here in the U.S., kind of don't have the buckle on the front of it. He got a pretty good visual. Now, the movie is, you could tell it's a movie of the time, of the 2000s.
Yeah.
Probably late 2007, 2008, something like
that. The movie came out in, I believe it premiered in Toronto maybe in 2009, but it didn't actually get a U.S. release until 2012 for various legal reasons and things like that. This was actually a British-French-Czech co-production. Mostly shot in the Czech Republic, but I think some parts of it were shot in Scotland as well. And it's mostly British actors, as far as I could determine.
It's got good acting.
Yeah, and actually, people that you would recognize is in this.
Max von Sydow's in it.
Max von Sydow is in it. He's not in it a lot, but he's in it a little bit. He plays Solomon's dad. And Solomon Kane is played by James Purefoy, who I haven't seen him in anything else, but he's kind of familiar. Also, who's that guy that's in everything? I think his name's Pete Postlethwaite. Mm-hmm. That dude's in everything. And the dude that played Gareth in The Office, the British version now, I'm not talking about the American one, is also in this as a priest. And I kind of laughed out loud when I saw it. I was like, hey, it's Gareth. I haven't seen the British Office in a long time. But I recognized him immediately, even though he looks like all medieval and shit.
When the movie first started, there's a scene where he's fighting Saracens of some sort. I think they were some kind of an Arabic pirate.
It says in the plot synopsis it says Ottoman.
They were Ottomans? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were pirates of some sort.
It's supposed to be in North Africa.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I always thought they were maybe what do you call them? I thought they were who are those pirates that were down there in North Africa a lot? It's one of the first wars the U.S. was in.
I can't remember.
They fought them. Barbary Coast pirates. That's what I thought they were. But I guess they were Ottomans. All right. In that scene, the Ottomans, their uniforms look brand new and really clean. And I'm going like, this looks like a movie set. This actually looks like movie costumes. It didn't really... It looked kind of fake to me. And there's CG in it of that time. But that was just that opening scene. After that, the movie got a little grittier. It looked a little more realistic. People are mostly wet and dirty because it's raining a lot through this
Pretty much rains through the whole movie.
Yeah.
Which, accurate.
It's basically the zombie apocalypse.
Because it's supposed to be England,
Yeah.
like most of the movie. So
it's basically a zombie apocalypse. Some kind of weird sorcerers running around turning everybody into ghouls.
Yeah, they're not technically
ghouls,
they're not zombies because they're not dead.
Yeah, they didn't die. They're possessed. They got black eyes.
Yeah, he kind of just takes
evil.
over and they do his bidding.
Yeah, no, there are ghouls in it. There's witches in it. There's demons in it.
Yeah, it's something for everybody.
Yeah, there's and it's all kinds of shit happens. There's a lot of paranormal stuff in it. There's dude's brother comes back from the dead, and he's a monster. I don't want to spoil everything about it, I think, because some people are interested in here and want to see the movie. But it's tight. It's the acting's good, the story's good. This is pretty good praise I'm going to give it. It's kind of, for me, up there with Conan the Barbarian. It's just a different style.
Yeah.
It's a different character. But it's as good as that. I'd watch it again. For me, it's not quite as compelling because it doesn't have all that Nietzsche and stuff in it that Conan has. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I liked it. Too bad the movie didn't do very well at the box office. They would have made more.
Because it would have been interesting to see like a whole kind of franchise where they could have adapted like some more of Howard's stories.
Yeah, it ends as this is this is my origin story, basically.
Yeah, that's what this was. So
right, so he's gonna do some more shit, but they never made any more.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what they had planned to do. Like I said, they had the rights for the Solomon Kane character, like going back to the 90s. And, as usually happens with any movie, pretty much, the rights get ping-ponged around, and it's like, this director, that director, this actor, and they, it took them a long time to get it made. And then when they finally got it made, it seems like most of the critics' reviews were, like, middling. They were like, yeah, this was pretty good. You know what I mean? It was like 60-70%, somewhere around there.
I don't think the critics really liked Conan the Barbarian when it came out.
Yeah, true.
But this movie, I think it aged pretty well. It doesn't. I wish it didn't have any CG in it.
That's what I was gonna say. The only thing, like, because I will say that the opening scene, I can see like they're trying to suck you in, right?
Yeah. And
the whole point of the beginning is to show that Solomon Kane, starting out, was a bad guy. He was like a really horrible person. And so the whole thing is kind of like his redemption story and how he became the character that he would eventually become, basically like a fighter of evil.
Yeah.
Like,
he was a badass though. He had seen demons and paranormal. He knew all that shit was real.
Yeah, and like I said, he was super religious, like in the beginning too. But he was like just a shitty, like he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And he was, well, much like Conan in the original stories, he was also like a thief. He was just going and stealing shit and like killing everybody to get it. So that opening scene, I get that they're like trying to show he's a bad guy, and there's this big battle where he comes up on the Ottomans and he's stealing this big pile of gold, which is very clearly a trap.
Yeah.
And there's all these demons coming out of mirrors and snatching all his dudes and everything like that. And like I said, I think that that first scene, I was kind of like, man, is this gonna be like Underworld or like one of those like super CGI heavy?
Yeah.
Because I'm not into those.
And it was from that time, basically.
And it was, and because like usually that kind of stuff, I'm just kind of like, it's a little much.
Even though I didn't mind Underworld, I liked it.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
It just had its own tone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was for that time, cartoony.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, I was like, oh, all right. And then I was like, is this going to be like super cheesy? But then like after that, it got like a lot darker and a lot more serious and a lot more realistic and a lot more character focused.
Yeah.
And I liked it a lot better after that point. Now, I will say, like, I didn't love the big bad at the end.
Yeah.
Because that was also kind of very CGI heavy. But it's not that long. Like, that part of it's not that long, so it didn't bother me all that much.
It's a lot better than the boss fights out of Conan the Destroyer. With the big fucking fake rubber suits and shit.
That's a pretty low bar.
Yeah. A lot better than that.
I will say, because normally I'm like a big, hey, practical effects are always better, but those suits in Conan the Destroyer were pretty dire.
I would love to go back to Conan the Destroyer.
It looked like,
and fix it with some CGI.
It was like sub Spirit Halloween. Like you could get better costumes than that nowadays.
And I remember when I first saw it, I was enjoying the movie, and then all of a sudden these fucking boss fights started happening. I was like, what the fuck is...
Why
Arnold is in this movie?
Why are you fighting the neighbor kids with their Halloween costumes?
Yeah, this is the neighbor kids.
Just give them some candy and they'll go away.
Yeah. And I did not like Destroyer.
Oh,
but as I know the subject a little bit more, it's still Howard. We're talking about Howard, even though he wasn't involved in Destroyer. Conan the Destroyer actually was still pretty true to Conan if you read some more of the stories. It's just that kind of shit would happen in the stories. It's just that it wasn't shown very well. It was the fucking boss fight monsters looked like shit, and CG would have fixed it. But it was that particular movie is kind of closer to Marvel Comics version of Conan. Not so much
the original.
Not so much. Yeah, John Milius really should have been in, the guy who did the first one. Had he been in there, he wanted to do a trilogy. It would have been really good. But they wanted to pay his price.
Yeah, they should have just done a trilogy when
when
Arnold was still younger.
Right.
That probably would have worked out much better. But
they wanted to go for a younger audience. They wanted PG.
And that's your first mistake.
PG Conan.
It doesn't really work.
Dino De Laurentiis thought that, well, if it's PG, we'll get more kids in there. We'll make more money on it. It didn't quite work. I don't think it made more money.
I'm not going to shit on PG or PG-13 across the board, because I will admit I have seen some good horror movies and stuff like that were PG-13. It can be done, but I kind of feel like
carefully.
It's a really fine line to walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't be pulling your punches. Certain types of stories work better in that kind of shit like this, shit like Conan or Solomon Kane or something like that. Which is, this movie was pretty. There's a lot of violence. There's beheadings and arms cutting off, and there's carnage. It's
If you like Conan, the Conan the Barbarian, you'd like this.
So
similar kind of story.
So you could a story like this, you couldn't really pussyfoot around it, because it's he's a bad guy and he's going on a redemption arc. He meets this family of Puritans, and they kind of set him on the road. Well, he's kind of on the road on his own, because he goes after that thing. He has that confrontation with the demon, and the demon says, "Oh, your soul is damned. You can't do anything about it.
We got your ass.
We got your ass, pretty much." And so he's trying to right the wrongs in his life, so he doesn't end up going to hell or whatever. And so he goes to this monastery, but then he's at the monastery for a little while, and then we're like, we had a prophetic dream. You got to get out of here. So then he becomes kind of like a pilgrim and meets up with these Puritans that are actually kind of on their way to go to the New World. And he kind of like falls in with them, and then it so happens that, like I said, there's this horrible like evil sorcerer in the area who's basically going into each town and like kidnapping everybody and like turning them into slaves essentially, or you know, or like a demon army, you know, like he's kind of possessing them magically, so they'll do whatever he wants, and he's kind of taken over the whole area. And so Solomon ends up having to fight them, because like at first he goes like the entire non-violent route because he thinks that's what God wants from him. Like, you know, I spent all of this time, you know, being this horrible pirate or whatever, and it's like I killed all these people and I was terrible, so now I'm gonna go the complete opposite extreme. But you know, pretty soon he learns that that's obviously not gonna work out, because it's like you can't defend good people without fucking up some bad people.
Fucking up bad people.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sometimes.
He tried to be non-violent, it didn't work.
Sometimes you gotta do that.
Yeah, and then he realized, well, God put me here to kill these motherfuckers.
They have it coming.
Yeah. Yeah, and he does achieve redemption, at least according to the story. He got his soul back from the devil.
Yeah, I mean, he does redeem himself, and like I said, this is kind of like a prequel, I guess, to like all of the Solomon Kane stories. And if the Solomon Kane stories, which I have not read, but if they're anything like the Conan stories that Robert E. Howard wrote, then they probably aren't in any particular order, because the Conan stories weren't. He just took Conan and
all over.
It was all over the place. It was different time periods, different places. He just put him in different situations.
Sometimes he's young, and then he's old, and then he's young again, and he's just...
Yeah, it's just a character that he puts in different situations.
Howard was just going to tell you a cool story.
Yeah.
He's going to put it in any location he wants to, you know, any time in Conan's life, just to tell you the story.
Yeah, so I think it's probably the similar thing to what he did with Solomon Kane. I don't think he wrote as many Solomon Kane stories as he did Conan stories.
Not from what I'm seeing.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. Because I think Conan, as far as the published stories, I think it was, 23 of them or something like that. I don't know how many Solomon Kane ones were published. But, so this was going to be leading up to that, because the character in the Howard stories is like a Puritan who fights demons and witches and shit. But he's like an avenger.
Yeah.
Whereas this is kind of showing you how that came to be, like how he got on that path. And I thought it was like a really good idea. And like I said, it's kind of a shame that they didn't do more with this. We were trying to figure it out, because I was watching it. I said, other than the slight cheese factor of the first scene, it's not super cheesy, but I was kind of like, oh,
I was getting skeptical.
I hope it doesn't go, the whole thing doesn't go in this direction. Like I said, it's very underworldy.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, I'm not usually a fan of.
It was trying to be a movie of its time.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like a lot of stuff that came out in the 2000s for that reason. Like, I don't like that big action horror.
I think they almost added that in there.
It does kind of seem like that a little bit. But they were just trying to show that he was a bad guy, and they wanted to start the movie off with a bang. I get it. And I think to a large part they were successful, although I would have just scaled it back just a little bit.
I would have toned it down.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Same with the ending. Scaled back just a little bit.
I didn't mind the mirror with the demons in it.
Now that was cool. I liked that. I liked that.
It was just when he was fighting the Ottomans.
Yeah.
Their uniforms were all
it didn't seem quite as
spanking new.
Which is weird, because the whole rest of the movie was super realistic. So, like everybody was dirty and muddy and stinky
rolling around in the mud and shit.
Everybody looked plague-ridden.
They're brand new uniforms. You could tell the dudes are CG. They just don't look weathered and worn, you know, and that's just the way soldiers really look. They've been working. They're work clothes.
Yeah, so I do feel like once I saw the whole movie, it does seem like the opening scene was maybe tacked on. I don't know if that's the case.
Felt like it.
But it did feel like, because it feels slightly tonally different than the rest of the movie.
It felt like felt like they had the movie, and they go, you know, this movie kind of feels a little old-fashioned. Let's put some new shit in it, like Underworld and all our competition.
Yeah.
And put that in the beginning.
What the fuck year did Underworld come out? I don't even remember now.
Yeah, that'll get their attention. That's hip. You know, I think it was...
Now, like I said, I did like a lot of the shit about that. I did like the mirrors, because it's this cool thing where there's all these big, huge mirrors with these, like, fucked up looking tree frames and shit, and they're black, and there's like demons behind them.
Demons in them.
So, like, when when Solomon Kane's dudes like walk by, they just go whoosh, and they just like snatch him in there,
Snatch him out, pull him
like
in
into the demon dimension. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, he told them to stand still. Hold on. And he go back there. He went up there to go.
Stand still so you get snatched by the
Hold on. Well, no, they were in between the mirrors. They weren't getting grabbed.
Yeah. It's like they can't reach that far.
They can't reach very far. He just told him to stand still, and then he went and finished.
You have to be right in front of the mirror for the demon to get you. But yeah, because the rest of it, like I said, was actually very serious and very character driven. And like I said, you'll recognize, if you know anything about a lot of British actors, you'll recognize a lot of. Alice Krige was in this too. Is that how you pronounce her last name? She was in. I remember her from Ghost Story, but I know she's in she's been in a million things. Wasn't she in one of the Star Treks or something?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I don't know who you're talking about.
But she played Meredith's mom.
Yeah, she looked familiar, but
yeah. She was in. Yeah, she was Anna Mobley in Ghost Story from 1982.
Yeah.
That's where I always remember her from because I love that movie.
It's a good flick. I'd watch it again.
Yeah, I would too. Like I said, it's kind of a shame. We were trying to figure out like maybe why it didn't connect with people. I think maybe it was just the timing.
Too much competition.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with this movie at all. But I think that maybe, and I can't remember like shit that came out around this time period, but I think there was a lot of other stuff that came out around this time period.
You had Van Helsing.
Yeah, that was kind of like this action horror kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was very similar.
Yeah, they had Van Helsing. It kind of looked like that. It also kind of looked like his outfit kind of looked like V for Vendetta a little bit with fucking blades.
Some people have said that it's
a little bit like Zorro.
Slightly like Highlander.
So it might have had a slightly
like it was kind of had a little bit of a Highlander vibe.
I think it was kind of a situation that if you didn't know what Solomon Kane
who that
character was, and you're seeing it, you might think, oh, I've seen movies like that.
Or that it's just a ripoff of something else without knowing that the original stories are from the 20s.
Yeah, that's a ripoff of Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Remember the Van Helsing ripoff?
See, I didn't like that Van Helsing movie.
Yeah. But I think that people thought it was going to be something like that. And,
well, like I said, I was thinking that when it first came on, because I was like, oh, this seems like it's going that direction. But then it wasn't. It was like much better than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So, you know.
The story it felt like it was very much written by Howard.
It definitely
stories like that.
It definitely does seem like if you've read any of his stuff, it's you can definitely tell it's a Robert E. Howard story,
or it was made to play out like a Robert. It was inspired by story. Yeah. There's fake Howard out there. There's fake Conan out there.
Well, it's just kind of like the Lovecraft. Well, you know, the whole Lovecraft thing where people write in that mythos now. So people also write Conan stories, and and all of that circle like encouraged that. Yeah. They were writing in each other's worlds.
But evidently, there's some of it out there that's by Robert E. Howard, but he didn't write it.
That didn't write it.
It's fake, and it was like a mishmash of some ideas that he threw away.
You could probably get AI to do it now.
Yeah. Well, from what I
write a story about this, like in the style.
One expert was saying that there was a bunch of unpublished stuff and just ideas and things that he mentioned, and you had guys who knew his work real well take some of these ideas that he mentioned in letters and make a book, make a Howard episode on that. Now, a Conan book isn't long. It basically comes out of a fucking newspaper, magazine.
Yeah. They're usually, if they take about an hour to read aloud, if you listen to the audio of it, it's just usually like an hour. Some of them are an hour and a half.
They're very much kind of like a Star Trek, the original series episode. It's about it's a scope like that.
Yeah,
it's not a big story. And like the original series, Star Trek, the original series, they're kind of, you could jump in at any time. Each story was kind of a standalone. They're not necessarily in any kind of order. They kind of were later on, but not real solid. You know what I mean? Fucking Star Trek. You could jump into Star Trek anywhere. Wouldn't matter.
Yeah, and it wouldn't matter.
Each one was kind of a standalone.
Ben says Red Sonja was originally a swashbuckler around the same time as Solomon Kane. Yeah, because Red Sonja was also a Robert E. Howard character, but. Yeah. So I think that was another Robert E. Howard movie that they made. I haven't seen Red Sonja in a long time. I remember it not being very good.
I remember thinking it was okay.
Yeah,
but I was a kid when it.
I was a kid last time I saw it.
It had Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's one of his movies that's hard to find. You can't get it on Blu-ray, or if you could, it was like $40, something like that. It was.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like really difficult.
Some of them are hard to get on Blu-ray.
Yeah. Just like last night after we watched this on Amazon Prime, we were scrolling through there and we noticed that they had Quest for Fire. And Tom was like, "Oh man, I haven't seen that in a long time." I was like, "Yeah, me neither." It's like, let's watch that.
It was good.
It's on Amazon Prime, but it's not restored.
No.
It's still in 4:5 aspect ratio, and it looked like a VHS rip.
Yeah. I once tried to buy it and couldn't.
I mean, it was free, but still.
Yeah.
I was like, this looks like ass.
It looked terrible. But it was still a good
But
movie.
it was still a fun movie to watch. I hadn't seen it in a million years.
Evidently.
I forgot fucking, what's his name was in it?
Yeah.
The big fucker. What's his name?
Perlman. Ron
Perlman, yeah. Big fucker.
Yeah, big fucker.
They're just like, we need all the actors in Hollywood that look like cavemen.
He didn't even need makeup.
I know.
He didn't even need makeup.
And I was like, I wonder if they told him that. It's like, but no, you're good.
Yeah.
You already look like a Neanderthal.
Yeah.
Or whatever they were supposed to be.
I don't know what they were. I think they were supposed to be Neanderthals.
Well, I think they were too, because it's like, obviously they were there was different human species going on, because Ray Don Chong was kind of like the modern human Homo sapiens line. Yeah. And then Ron Perlman's people were kind of Neanderthal-y. And then, like, at the beginning, they got attacked by, like, Australopithecus africanus. I don't know who the other ones
No, they were some kind of Gigantopithecus. They were big.
They were like ape men. Like, it was like the Sasquatch gang or something like that.
Yeah, what's funny is that I didn't realize that basically that whole movie is a naked little teenage Ray Dong Chong running around.
Yeah.
I don't know how old she was. She might have been late teens, 19, 20 or something.
No, well,
and I don't. That's one that they haven't restored. Maybe because there's just dude just fucks her unannounced constantly until she enjoys it. Maybe they're we're not going to restore this. Remember?
Well, yeah. I mean, it is basically.
He basically
like,
just goes, "Come here."
Yeah.
We see. You know.
You're little and you can't do anything about it.
You can't fight. Yeah.
So.
Well, fucking.
I mean, that's what really would have happened.
The first guy jumps on her, and then fucking she goes, no. And the other guy comes to her rescue, and then goes, "Oh, I guess I can do it."
Yeah, I was just like,
and she just puts up with it. She just puts up with it.
Well, like I said, what are they gonna do? They're all bigger than her.
Yeah. When they saw her standing next to her, she's like a child size.
She's like a tiny.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how tiny.
Yeah, when they were standing there, goes, look how fucking little she is next to those.
And I mean, well, I know Ron Perlman is like gigantic, but still, like, I don't know who that other actor was, but yeah, it's kind of entertaining like that. And I didn't realize that Anthony Burgess, who wrote the novel A Clockwork Orange, in case you didn't know, was the guy that came up with the primitive language that they use in the movie.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Quest for Fire, see it. It's free.
It's pretty fun.
It's wild. It's funny. Yeah.
And it's like, and you don't really have to like. You know, I mean, you can tell what's going on, obviously, from the action. No English in it. Yeah. So it's like there's no English in it. So, you know, you can feel free to, like, riff away. And and all their facial expressions are funny.
Yeah, that's funny. They rarely say anything, really.
They don't say much.
Yeah.
And when they do, like I said, it's like another language, you know what I mean? But, yeah, it's pretty...
It's barely a language. It's just a word.
Yeah.
Words or two.
They're just kind of very quick, like, communicating, like, things to each other.
Yeah.
But I forgot how kind of funny it was.
Yeah, well, they're dumb. They're real dumb. They're clowns, man. They don't know what the fuck
they have to go because they didn't know how to make fire, obviously. So it's like every time their fire goes out, they gotta go steal some from somebody else, and it's this big ordeal.
Yeah, they gotta go to war for fire. They think there can only be one. So if you take that fire, you gotta put it out.
Yeah,
you gotta put the other one out.
The other one out,
there's only one fire.
And then they have this little thing that they carry in.
That's how dumb they are.
And then, like, at the end, when they meet, like, the modern humans, and the modern humans, like, can make fire, and they're like...
Dude just lost his fucking mind. He starts crying. He starts crying because he's seeing all that shit they went through. You could just make it. Yeah.
I know, and he's just like, after all of that,
I
almost got eaten by a lion, I fell in quicksand.
Yeah, and then
I got beat up by 8 people.
And then he starts hanging out with the humans and starts fucking using body paint and fucking washing and shit. And his buddies are like, "You changed, man. You changed, bro." And he's not hanging out with them anymore. He's hanging out with the human girl. It's just fucking funny.
It was very amusing. Like I said, I hadn't seen it in a very long time.
Yeah.
So we were just kind of interested to watch. I just wish that someone would restore it, but you know, it still looks like butt, even though it's on Amazon Prime. But like I said, you don't have to pay for it, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say that the director of this here movie, Solomon Kane, I looked them up, and she also did one called Death Watch, which actually I've been wanting to see. That's also on Amazon Prime, I think, and it looks really good. And I've heard from other people that it's good. If it's not, please tell me. But I've heard that it's good. Eventually, we might get around to doing that. She also did Silent Hill Revelation, which I don't know if that's any good. I thought the first one was okay. And she also worked on Ash vs. Evil Dead, which, if you haven't seen the 3-season TV series, Ash vs. Evil Dead, please do yourself a favor and watch it. It is one of the funniest fucking things you'll ever see in your life. I was just tickled shitless. It was one of the funniest. It was so fucking funny. I just love. It was just fucking delightful the whole way through.
Klaus, who's this chick in here yelling at you, man?
Yeah, I don't know. She's yelling at you.
Just yelling.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I said, if you're at all interested in sword and sorcery type movies,
if you like
Robert
Conan.
E. Howard, if you like Conan, and if you like movies like kind of fantasy movies, dark fantasy that came out like around this era, like since like I said, late 2000s, then I mean, even if you liked like Underworld and shit like that, like you might dig this actually. Like it's the beginning and end are kind of more like that, but then like the middle part is actually like a real serious,
pretty gritty, yeah,
movie.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's pretty violent. Like it's got, it's fairly gory.
Yeah,
a lot of people get killed in horrible ways.
It's also obviously fantasy. I mean, they didn't have castles that quite looked like that in Europe at this time that they're talking about. They're kind of dressed up because it's a Robert E. Howard fantasy. They're trying to make it look kind of more like Frank Frazetta paintings.
And I mean, they also have witches that can turn into like bird flocks. And sorcerers that can turn
witches
into
and demons and
smoke and shit like that.
Yeah, the only thing that was missing was a werewolf and a vampire.
Yeah, because I was sitting there.
Ghouls.
There were ghouls in it, yeah. Because I was sitting there, man, this has something for everybody. There's all the monsters. I was kind of expecting,
I would imagine
like a vampire to show up.
I would imagine that'd be the next movies.
I think there was a Solomon Kane story where he fought a vampire, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the main bad guy had to be a vampire.
But don't know about a werewolf though. Although I will say that I know that Robert E. Howard wrote at least one werewolf story because I read it on my other channel.
That'd have been right in there.
What was it called? The Wolves of Villefair or something like that. I don't think that was any of his characters. It was just like a werewolf story. I think it was one of his earlier stories. But yeah, it's a perfectly decent movie, and like I said, it's kind of a shame that it just didn't really get much traction. And it took such a long time to come out. Like it came out years before, like in Canada and the UK, like it came out like a few years before it came out in the US, and then it just seems like it didn't
make money.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I don't think it was super expensive to make, like at least compared to other movies of this type from this era. Like I think it was cheaper than that, but it's just, I don't know, it just didn't fucking strike a nerve, and it's just kind of forgotten about, I guess.
Eventually you won't have to film any of this shit. You just use AI to make a whole fucking movie. There's not even any actors in it, just voice actors.
Pretty sure Darren Aronofsky is already on that. He's making a whole AI movie. He is? That's what last I heard.
Yeah, that's what'll happen. You do it right, if you have
because everybody's kind of like, bro, what?
I would like to see him do an AI Dune. He could finally do Dune in AI.
Yeah.
Remember the Dune that he wanted to do, that crazy ass Dune?
That's not Darren Aronofsky. That's that was Jodorowsky.
Jodorowsky, that's right. Yeah,
two completely different
Jodorowsky,
dudes.
yeah. That's
Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Pollock name, yeah.
It's a completely different dude.
Yeah.
No, Darren Aronofsky is the guy that made Noah.
Noah, that's right.
And
yeah.
And all
Jodorowsky, that crazy. He was a Spanish guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's that crazy dude with the all of the acid trippy Dune, which actually, I would like to see that. That would be cool.
I saw that program on what his Dune was going to be like and how they were describing it.
Yeah, there's a documentary really cool about it, and I was like, I know.
He hired a bunch of artists to draw renditions of what he was talking about. And I saw those when I was a kid. Those were showing up in
he makes some
airbrush books about spaceships and shit like that. I didn't realize that was all coming from Dune. A lot of the stuff. So they were coming up with some good concepts. They would have never been able to get that done, though. Not the technology at the time.
No. Like I said, now you could. But
Yeah.
now it would be a lot easier.
You do it CG.
Yeah. Might even be
And
cool.
you make it a
might even be
cartoon.
cool, like animated.
You make an animated feature. You could, well, you could do that with Conan now. Totally animated, like 300. Now
Yeah,
300
yeah.
it'd be like that.
Yeah,
Do
with
the
that
Frank
like
Frazetta-
stylized.
Yeah, the Frank Frazetta style, like 300.
See, that would be kind of rad.
Yeah.
Although I kind of feel like it would be cool if they did Conan as like we've said this before, but it's like as like a series, like a
miniseries television. The thing is, though, so you can't fuck around with Conan. If you read Howard's work, it's dripping with nudity and sex, but the sex never happens. It just lets you know that it happened without describing it, because I guess it's in the damn. You know what I mean? It was in a monthly rag.
Yeah.
So it was kind of censored.
Now he did write for some pulps that had more that were called spicy. Spicy adventure, spicy this and that and the other. If it had the word spicy in the name, that meant. But nowadays it's not like super. It's more like softcore porn.
Right.
It's like nothing.
Frank Frazetta's artwork
just slightly smutty.
Frank Frazetta's artwork captures it perfectly of what Conan was, and just the women of Conan and what's happening. All that shit was taken directly from Conan books.
Yeah.
And just the way he painted it, that's what Howard's talking about.
Yeah.
Big asses and everything.
And it would be kind of cool to see like a stylized, like you said, kind of like not complete animation, kind of realistic, but sort of like 300,
like 300
or Beowulf. Although that was kind of Uncanny Valley, I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah.
But something along those lines.
I do it like 300.
Yeah, something like
or
along
Dracula
those lines.
Untold. You know.
Now, see, that was a rad movie that a lot of people don't talk about.
Right. And then, but you do it in a Frank Frazetta painting style.
Yeah.
And Frank Frazetta did Fire and Ice. And that was just animated, a rotoscope. That looked pretty good, but you could do so much better now.
Yeah.
Just with CG.
Yeah, that rotoscoping does look. It looks kind of cool in some scenes, but like some of it is kind of, I don't know, kind of funny looking.
The lines are too hard. That's not the way it looked in a Frazetta painting. Frazetta some of it looked like it was airbrushing.
Yeah, so it's like, it'd be like a lot easier to do nowadays because you wouldn't have to do it by hand because holy shit, that would take forever.
Yeah, and you need fucking mist floating, and you need people walking through the mist and the mist moving, and you need shit like that.
Yeah, you need layers, man.
You need layers.
Joseph says, did Boris Vallejo do any Conan illustrations? I don't know, but that would have been like right in his wheelhouse, wouldn't it? I'll have to look that up because I'm actually not sure. I want to say yeah, but I don't want to say that because I'm not entirely sure. All right, so you ready to wrap it up? Okay, so thanks for hanging out with us this evening. On Wednesday night's show, we went back to the polls, and what won by quite a significant margin was conspiracy theorist John Todd. He is the guy, well, one of the guys. It wasn't just him. That kind of back in the 70s, one of the guys that was kind of behind the whole Illuminati, satanic panic, rock stars are witches, all that kind of stuff. He knew Jack Chick. Jack Chick actually used a bunch of his ideas, like in some of his Chick tracts.
Okay.
So
we're doing that guy? Okay.
So we're going to talk about that guy, who actually I didn't really know that much about him. I had heard about some other people, like Mike Warnke and stuff like that, were kind of around the same era. But somebody recommended it like a long time ago, and I started looking into it, and I was like, oh yeah, this guy would probably make like a really interesting, because anytime we can like talk about satanic panic shit, because this is like early 70s, I feel like this guy was kind of mostly around, so he was kind of one of the first guys that's got started on that whole Illuminati satanic cabal running the world kind of thing. So that should be an interesting show, should be a lot of fun. So that will be on Wednesday night, so hopefully you guys can show up for that. And have a good rest of your evening. Have a good day tomorrow, and we'll see you guys again on Wednesday night.